right, welcome back to the Queen City Soccer Show. I'm your host, Level Up Luke. We have an exciting special episode today. My partner Cole is on vacation, but I had the pleasure of being invited to join the Soccer Sheet Mid-Season Footy Awards selection panel. It's an honor to be alongside Jorge Torres, Kara from Queen's Pitch, and obviously Sam and Rebecca from Soccer Sheet. We had a great conversation. We broke down the nomination process, what that all looks like, how you guys can participate and vote, and who the nominees are. So I'm excited to bring this to you, and make sure you go to soccersheet.com. Make sure to subscribe on Substack for free. You can get a paid membership as well if you feel so inclined and support the great work they're doing. And until next time, I'm Level Up Luke. We'll bring you guys some more Leagues Cup content, Charlotte FC, Charlotte Independence, Crown Legacy. We'll continue that coverage. And if this is your first time, make sure to like and subscribe. But without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Sam and the Mid-Season Footy Awards world debut.
All right, everybody. We are here to talk about the Mid-Season Footy Awards. I'm joined by Sam Spencer from Soccer Sheet and a panel of some of the best around, the best in the Charlotte business here, the soccer community. I'm going to turn it over to you, Sam. Can you tell us about the Mid-Season Footy Awards and what do we got going on?
Absolutely. Well, thanks for the opportunity here, Luke. And I definitely want to thank and point out everybody who's on the call with us this morning for the nominations panel to go through the nominations and pick who ended up on your Footy Awards ballot. So first, we've got Jorge, who many of you know as a photographer here in the area, who is at every match. And you've seen his work all around the Charlotte FC ecosystem. Hello to Jorge.
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Feeling good, feeling great. Next, we have another photographer, Rebecca, who shoots for Soccer Sheet. Hello, Rebecca.
Hey, y'all.
And finally, from the Queen's Pitch, we have Kara, one half of an amazing podcast combo, who we might be meeting the other half in just a little bit. Hello, Kara.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting me join.
Awesome. Well, so the format here, I'm going to go through the nominations really quick and allow anybody who was on the panel to speak to anyone who really sticks out or is an inspirational soccer player for you. So first off, the fun ones. Many of you have seen this. The ballot is going to be open, let's say, until Sunday, midnight on Sunday, August 4th. And the two categories here for the first questions are the best Carolina soccer story of 2024 and the Carolina Ascent hometown hero, the person who you're most looking forward to playing for the Carolina Ascent when they kick off their season on August 17th at American Legion Memorial Stadium. So first off, the best Carolina soccer stories that were nominated. Asheville City SC wins the USL2 Southern Conference Championship. Charlotte FC's Nyanjo brothers rise through the ranks together. Patrick Agyemang becomes Charlotte's go-to striker. The Carolina Ascent brings pro women's sports back to Charlotte after 17 years. Clay Dimmick transcends what was supposed to be a career-ending injury to stay on as the captain for the Independents. Charlotte FC Academy U17s reach the MLS Next National Finals. Chitru Odunze wins the MLS Next Pro Goalie Wars. And Carolina Core brings pro soccer to the Triad, also the home of Charlotte FC's Brant Bronico. So any of those stick out to anybody that somebody wants to talk on?
Yeah, I can start off maybe chronologically. In the preseason, I was able to sit down with Clay Dimmick from Charlotte Independence and talk about his spinal injury. He actually had a career-ending spine back injury towards the end of last season, and it was kind of, he gradually noticed that he was losing movement and losing feeling throughout his limbs. When it was diagnosed, no pro athlete has ever come back from this type of injury. He got a new novel surgery to fuse the two vertebrae in a way that would allow him to potentially come back. And he trained and worked hard for the better part of a year and has been an inspirational player and captain for Charlotte Independence this season. So that was a really cool story.
Awesome. Any else before we move to Carolina Ascent? So, Rebecca, do you want to take the Carolina Ascent Hometown Hero nominations? I saw a big yes, but she's busy. So the Carolina Ascent Hometown Hero, which player are you most looking forward to seeing play? We have Isabella Franco, Jada McGrew, Jill Aguilera, who recently got some NWSL minutes, Mia Corbin, and Vicky Bruce. And if you don't know any of them, Vicky Bruce is the hometown girl. Cornelius raised, went to high school in the area at Cannon, played for both UNC and Davidson, and has now traveled across the world, most to Europe and most recently to Australia, and is now coming back to play in Charlotte. So if we don't have any more Carolina Ascent players, let's go to the rest of the ballot. And this is the ballot that will be debuting as soon as this podcast goes up. So first off, we have the 2024 Carolina Soccer Community Leader Award, someone working to improve the soccer ecosystem in the Carolinas. This is the longest list. I think this is the longest question out of all of them. We have Becca Mitchum from Mint City Collective, Bridget McCall from the Queen's Pitch podcast, Cliff Wright from the Charlotte Eagles, Dan D'Amico from the Carolina Ascent and Charlotte Independence, David Gussler from Mint City Collective, Joe LeBou, the president of Charlotte FC, Lee Hannibal, who does CLT FC Fan TV, Matt Swift, our third from Mint City Collective, gonna be interested to see the vote split there, and then Mike Umberger from the Mecklenburg Reserves. So, Kara, can you tell us anything about Bridget?
Yeah, Bridget always likes to really support Crown Legacy and the academy players. She is heavily involved in the soccer scene with her daughter. Her daughter Lillian plays for multiple clubs, and she also likes to support when like local community events and things like that. And she's also a voice to speak about just the way the youth are, like, and women. We feel like their voices are more important, and that's one of the things that we like to highlight on the podcast. But if you know Bridget, she is such a warm and inviting person. She's like never not made a friend. So you know, she'd love to meet you, and I think she really embodies community and connection.
Amen to that.
I'll jump in if it's okay, and just talk about Mike Umberger from the Mech Reserves. I had the pleasure of starting to hang out and tailgate with them last season with Charlotte Independence. They are a hyper local supporters group. So the only team that they're actively engaging with is Charlotte Independence. Although some of the members do support the other semi-pro teams in the area, like the Chaos and Anthem Rugby. So being hyper local and kind of a lower level supporters group does not in any way impact the level of passion, the quality of the tailgates. You know, we might hear from Carolina Reaper a little bit later, but he's another big active member. You know, we got David, who's the president of the group, but Mike Umberger is definitely the heart and soul of the Mech Reserves. You can see him on a lot of the promo stuff for Charlotte Independence. And just like Kara was saying about Bridget, you know, it's a super welcoming group. And, I know that Mike would love to welcome people into the Charlotte Independence tailgates in that scene. So I really like seeing him get the recognition in this category.
Awesome. And before I forget, I do want to point out Hector Cortez, Sombrero Man, was nominated in this category as well. However, because he's the most recent winner of the award at the inaugural Footy Awards, that's why he is not on this list. Jorge, Rebecca, anybody you want to point out? All right, let's move on to Favorite Local Fan 2024. Eligible is any Carolina soccer fan who is not employed by a professional team or club. Even though with Chico, he's on so many advertisements, you would think that he is like the second mascot after Serminti. But we have Alicia Leon, Carolina Reaper, aka Kevin, La Muerte, aka Chico, Marcy Sierra, Sombrero Man, Hector Cortez, and well, I don't think we have option 6. Anybody want to speak to any of those?
I'd love to speak to Alicia Lalone. She brings this energy to soccer. And if you've ever met her, it's like you've known her your whole life. She remembers your name. She knows like who your favorite player is. And you really just kind of need that energy. And she's always excited and always has the best gear, honestly. And so I just really want to lift her up. She's on Twitter, and she really just like amplifies all of the soccer all over Charlotte. And so I just wanted to make sure to kind of give her a shout out on here, and fingers crossed she wins.
I actually want to give her a shout out because Luke leaked this category to Twitter, and Alicia's immediate reaction was, "Anybody but me. Please do not vote for me."
Yeah, I mean, I did leak this category because it's not fair, and I don't like you for putting this in here because every single one of these people is amazing, and I love them, and they're all friends. So I don't know how I could possibly pick somebody in this category. This is by far the strongest category on the poll, in my opinion.
Well, I guess it'd be unfair for me to not talk about my group people, right? Marce is like a good friend of mine, and she's one of the most passionate people I've ever met in my life. She has a heart of gold, and she can be a little feisty sometimes, but it's for a good reason. You can see her everywhere, and she's the absolute best. She helps out with everything, and she's one of the best for sure for this club and the way she represents it. As well as Hector, but we all know who Hector is.
All right. Hearing nothing else, going to favorite 2024 kit. Luckily, this has pictures and visuals. And if you need more pictures and visuals in some of these categories, please ask us. I'll be happy to add, especially players you might not know. But we definitely thought there needed to be pictures for the favorite 2024 kit. And we have Appalachian FC, which is black and very squatchy. It could hide in the woods. We have the Carolina Ascent Coastal Kit, which is away, which is a sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean. We have the Carolina Ascent Trail Blazer Kit, which looks more like a sunset over the Blue Ridge Mountains. Carolina Core Summer Sunset Kit, which is their goalkeeper kit, with many different colors that aren't the ones you might expect from the Carolina Core badge. And then the Carolina FC Carolina Kit Explore, which is the new home kit that Charlotte FC put together this year. And probably a good reminder with this one that anybody who votes in the Footy Awards are entered to win prizes, and our next drawing is going to be for a Carolina Core scarf and a Carolina Core jersey.
Yeah, I think we have some really strong kits in the Carolinas. I mean, this year with the Explorer kit coming out, kind of starting the conversation. I think it's fantastic. I was just up in the Blue Ridge Mountains hiking, and I saw a scene that looked very much like that. It's pretty incredible. And obviously, Carolina Ascent made a big splash with their jersey unveils. Absolutely fantastic. I have a lot of friends who are telling me that they are out there buying Carolina Ascent gear, and I'm excited to see, how they look on the actual pitch. So strong category, very strong.
And one plug I have to give for the Carolina Ascent kits. A couple people asked me before the kit reveal if I knew if they were going to have larger guy sizes. Unfortunately, on the NWSL website, only goes up to 2X. Luckily, the Ascent, they have 3Xs for us larger people. So thank you very much.
I do really want to give a shout out to the Appalachian FC kits. I absolutely love that they have so many local supporters in the area. A lot of local businesses are supporting them. And honestly, I went to Appalachian State University, so I spent a lot of time in Boone, North Carolina. And when I made a recent trip, I was able to meet the head coach. Amazing person. They have a great store if you ever go up and visit. But honestly, it's just that they have so much support up in Boone, and really able to get those like local stores that were able to support, and then they design an amazing kit around it. And so I just want to give a shout out to them.
Awesome. Well, moving on to favorite midseason local footballer 2024. I think after the fan category, this might be the hardest category. So this is the one category where there are eligible players from multiple teams. So we have Adilson Malanda, Ashley Westwood, Brant Bronico, Clay Dimmick from the Independents, Pachi Polanco from Carolina Core, and Casey Murphy, U.S. Women's National Team member who plays for the NC Courage. Anybody stand out, or this is more of a fun category than like most important player. Why do you love to see some of these people play?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to shout out when you talk about local footballers, that Brant Bronico is an integral part of this community, from his time at UNCC, to being the motor, and that midfield presence for Charlotte FC. This is not the best MVP category. This is the local footballer, and I think he really embodies that spirit. He does the charity event every year at Hopfly. The mayor, Brant Bronico.
Yeah, only to my knowledge, only 2 people on that list have beers named after him. So, and the other one's the skipper Westwood, and Ashley has done a really good job being omnipresent in the community and really, being both on and off the pitch, everything you'd expect a skipper to be, and that includes throwing caution to the wind and ignoring the fact that they're calling dissent more this year.
I gotta give a shout out to my girl Casey. I mean, honestly, she's one of 2 goalkeepers on the US women's roster. She's had 15 clean sheets. 15. I don't know another person who has that right now. And also she's played all 14 games so far. She's made 41 saves on with 56 shots on goal for a 71% save percentage. 71. I don't know if there's anyone else that has done that. And I just think I'm repping for her during the Olympics, and she always brings that spirit back to the Courage. And so I'm just thrilled to see her on this list.
Awesome. Well, we will pick up the pace. Crown Legacy midseason MVP, long list here. Aaron John, obvious strong contender there. Brandon Cambridge, Chitru Udunze, Dylan Singh, Nimfasha Berchimas, and Rocket Renteria. Any standouts? Well,
once again, it'd be rude of me to not give a shout out to my guy Brandon. We all know how close him and I are at this point. Just I was able to see how me and him we did something together from seeing him in the walking boot to now how he played for Crown Legacy and then he made that debut last week or so. It's hard work truly pays off for him, and I'm glad to see him doing good again.
me too. And Brandon, apologies again for knocking that poster on you at the last Footy Awards. I'm sorry. Anybody else before we move to the core?
Yeah, Aaron John's having a fantastic year. If you guys are not watching Crown Legacy in the audience, I would definitely say, keep Aaron John on your radar. He's kind of the breakout star for them this year. Dylan Fing has had a great season. Berchamus, obviously, he's playing 2 levels up on the U.S. national team, the U.S. youth national team. He's got an insanely bright future. He's a rising star. And then shout out to Kara for, bringing in the Rocket Rita Rita conversation. He plays for the academy team. And the Charlotte U17 and U15 teams have been putting in some good work in the Generation Adidas tournament and the MLS Next Cup. So shout out on that.
Yeah, and if you want some statistics for this year, maybe for some of those, Dylan Singh has 5 goals and 2 assists. Aaron John is at 7 goals, 6 assists for the year so far. Nympha and Rocket Rita have been playing more on the youth national teams, and then for Charlotte FC in the academy playoffs. So we've seen more goals from them there, and I don't have those statistics, but yeah, each of them has been a standout.
Yeah.
And
then
I got to mention, obviously, Shituro Odunze won the Goalie Awards championship. So he's the only one here with an actual award. So give him the belt. I love it.
Well, cool. Well, I'll move on to Carolina Core mid-season MVP, and we have Pachi Polanco, Ibrahim Kobe, Jacob Evans, Jayfin Juarez, and Joshua Rodriguez. And I'll take the first one here because I had a chance to sit down and talk with Ibrahim Kobe. He is from France, from Ligue 2, native French speaker. And luckily, we have Adrian on the soccer sheet team, and so we have French translation services whenever we want them. But Ibrahim was he's just like Malanda is for Charlotte SC. He is a center back force of nature, who is really the defensive core, no pun intended. And it's also just awesome talking to him about his story. Imagine being transplanted from Paris and now you're in High Point. Any other standouts in this category? All right, well, we will move on to Independence Midseason MVP. Last year, I think Austin Pack was our winner in this category. But though he's at the top of the list, I don't know if he'll be the winner this year for midseason because we also have Clay Dimmick, Gabriel Oberton, Joel Johnson, and Juan Carlos Obregon. And that's a pretty stacked field for the Independents, who are currently second in the USL League One as we tape this podcast.
Yeah, they're playing tonight, and they were actually number 1 within the past week. It just depends on the games played at this point. I'll jump in here just because I go to all these games. Austin Pack looks like he could absolutely repeat as USL 1 goalkeeper of the year. So you can't count him out for this award. Clay Dimmick, I already mentioned his amazing comeback story. Gabriel Oberton, the Frenchman, the most experienced veteran player on the team. He is pushing 10 assists on the season right now in all competitions, which is quite frankly insane. Joel Johnson's having a great year. And then JC Obregon was USL 1 Player of the Month and he's the team's leading scorer. So absolutely stacked field for the Charlotte Independents. Once again, you guys got to get out and see this team. They have a great product at a very affordable price. The games are a blast.
Awesome. Well, unless there's anybody else to point out, going on to Courage Midseason MVP 2024. We have 4 strong contenders here: Ashley Sanchez, Brianna Pinto, Casey Murphy, and Tyler Lucy, who I believe all lead or very close in one stat or another for the Courage. Aside from Olympian Casey Murphy, any other shout outs here? Well, between Tyler and Ashley, I think they are both the golden boot for the Courage right now. So it'll be interesting to see if this is one where offense or defense wins. North Carolina FC midseason MVP, Evan Conway, Louis Perez. I think a lot of people get that wrong, but Louis is actually from France. Alex Anderson and Raphael Menzingen. There we go. So 4 different picks for North Carolina FC, and I'm going to move on before I can hear some North Carolina FC hate from the hardcore Independence fans.
All right, listen, I will give a shout out to Louis Perez. I did nominate him because I did have a chance to sit down and interview him at the soccer tournament. He has a fantastic story, like Kobe's from France, and his journey. Also, his little brother also plays for the NCFC team, and they're both just super cool people. So I will say something nice.
Next we have NPSL Southeast Season MVP. As many of you know, there's the Moonshine Cup between 3 local NPSL teams. Appalachian FC. It is Appalachian, not Appalachian, by the way. Hickory FC and Charlottetown Hops, who all play in this league. So we have 2 from Hickory who went the farthest in the division out of all 3 teams, Diego Fernandez and Jorge Jimenez. And then we have Eli Bacota from Appalachian FC and Jamie DeLuzio from the Charlottetown Hops. And then finally, the big one, the last question on the ballot, one that everybody is required to answer: Charlotte FC midseason MVP 2024. So eligible is anyone who played for the first team in 2024 who is still with the club. This is a stacked list. It's like choosing your favorite daughter. Adil Simulanda, Andrew Privet, Ashley Westwood, and that's just the A's. Christian Kalina, Liel Labata, and Patrick Ajiman. Who wants to start on these 6? Because I think somebody has an opinion on all of these. I see a big smile on Kara's face. Kara?
Sure, I can take it away. I mean, I think one of the ones you have to really highlight here is Patrick Ajiman. He's been asked to be the number 9 up at the front, like taking the place of Enzo. Enzo didn't do really well this year. He's gone, and now we have Pat. And Pat, for such a young guy, and this is only like, if you count a total year, he's just kind of reached his year mark now in this point of the season. So even though he's been on 2 seasons with Charlotte FC, like he hasn't been featuring for the first team in this type of big important role until this year. And already at this point in the season, he has 7 goals, 2 assists, and he's been asked to really carry the team in this goal scoring ability. And so that's a really tough job. And so I feel like you have to have him as an MVP.
All right, who wants to take Liel Labata?
I'll jump in. Coming over from, my first love, Celtic. Liel Labata has had a difficult year or 2 here with on and off the pitch issues, and he's shown tremendous resilience coming in, playing for Charlotte, getting chemistry with a new team, and we see the flashes of skill and talent. He's by far the most technically gifted player on the pitch for Charlotte. So he had some goals, he had some assists, and more numbers will come in time. He's coming off of the European calendar, so I think there's some adjustment there. But he is absolutely a steal as a DP for Charlotte. This is a player that I don't think anybody would have predicted would be playing in MLS this season. So shout out to Liel and Celtic, who just beat Man City in Chapel Hill. Love to see it.
That also sounds like a shout out to Zoran for being persistent and bringing Abada over to the MLS. Who wants to take Kalina? Don't make me call on people. Jorge.
I was ready to do Melanda, but I'll take Kalina. He's been insanely good. Just the ability to he's risen to the occasion in so many circumstances, and he's been one of the many I guess defenders that we've been able to rely on this year. And without many of his saves, we'd be pretty in a tough spot. But now we know we're pretty confident with him, defending that goal.
Awesome. Westy.
So Ashley Westwood being the captain, like, of course, his leadership is fantastic. As if you saw one of the most recent games, like, he's first into the fray, and he's not afraid to defend anyone on the team, and he's usually the first person in line to do that. So you have to appreciate that willingness to put himself in those situations and just be a leader, not only on the pitch, but with his teammates. And as far as like statistics on this season, he's had a fantastic year. He's had 2 goals, 4 assists, and he leads the team in progressive passing up the pitch. So I can't wait to see if he scores some more this year. So he has to be a favorite.
Awesome. Well, Jorge, I'll give you Melanda right now.
Sounds good. I guess if you want to be honest, you could put it on the entire back line, as if you want to say backline MVP. But if we had to pick one player, I think we'd have to do it to Dilson. Without his communication and setting people up and managing that back four that we have, we wouldn't have the defense that the entire league knows us for. And he's been that catalyst and that crucial person back there, organizing everything for us. So big shout out to him.
Yeah, and I mean, just it brings to mind in fantasy football, there's a term called a handcuff when you have a running back duo. And twisting the meaning slightly here, I think Melanda and Privet, like Jorge was saying, are a handcuff. It's the two of them together working as a team, supporting one another. I call Andrew Privet the Terminator. He's the team leader in minutes, but every time there's an opportunity or a breakaway or something going on his side of the pitch, he shuts it down and eliminates it. So I know Melanda is going to get all the love here, but I just want to give a shout out to Andrew Privet.
I know. I will say, as I did the first profile on Adilson and was really honored to get to know him. Like, had a feeling like he was going to be a big thing. And this year, I don't know what happened, but I did a profile of Agi for Queen City Nerve, and lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, he was the 9, and he was going to be the guy throughout the season. So have had a lot of time to talk to those two and really get to know them. But part of me says that the MVP for me, he got my editor's award in the Footy Awards last year, and that was Ashley Westwood, because just having somebody who is a presence in that locker room, and honestly, in terms of set pieces, in terms of play creation, somebody who is vital to the organization on and off the pitch. You know, it's like, you know how important Scott Arfield was in the locker room, but he really didn't get a chance to show it that much on the pitch. And Ashley is literally the best of both worlds. And, you know, this is going to be, I haven't decided yet. I haven't cast my vote yet, but this is going to be a hard one for me.
Well, with that, I think we've wrapped up the recap of the awards. I'd love to just ask you, Sam, as far as the Footy Awards and having the event for last season, what do we have to look forward to with this contest? You've mentioned some giveaways. What does the timetable look like? What are the rules? Give me just kind of a rundown of how does this all work?
Absolutely. So we'll have one ballot ending on Sunday and one ballot beginning as soon as the podcast is up. You'll be able to find it at soccersheet.com. The final ballot is going to be open until Wednesday, August 14th, hopefully giving us enough time to get some awards to the players during the League's Cup break. Knock on wood, they make it farther, but in case they don't, they'll have a little time off, and hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of that slightly. So we're patiently waiting to see what happens between Philadelphia and Cruz Azul. And once we know more what the schedule is going to look like, I think we'll have a smaller get together. It won't be like last year, but hopefully everybody will be able to raise a pint, and some of our winners will be able to join us.
Love it. And where can people find this voting ballot?
At soccersheet.com. If you click on any of the stories, but especially there will be a story that goes up that says Soccer Sheet Footy Awards vote. Any of those stories, you can click and find the ballot.
Fantastic. You guys can find Soccer Sheet on Twitter, aka X. You can find them on Threads, Instagram, wherever you get your social media. Thank you guys so much. This is an amazing panel. I'm very grateful to be a part of it. And you know, QCS Pod, I know my partner Cole is out of town on vacation right now, but he sends his love as well. And yeah, fantastic. We're going to follow up with you guys and keep the listeners and viewers posted as we get the votes in and we get some winners for the Mid-Season Footy Awards. Sam Spencer, Rebecca, Jorge, Kara, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Happy voting.